Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. I'm so happy to have all of you here. Well, I've been waiting for today's date. It's always a pleasure working with all of you. So, to begin, let me introduce everybody, not in any particular order, just how they appear on my screen. So, we have Irina Pornova, or manifestation coach. We have Kara Jean Wilson, or business coach, Bruno, or copywriter, and the mastermind behind all the emails, and me, John, or Johnny Bachata, business solutions wizard. So today we're gonna be talking about one of my passions. If you have any questions, if you're watching this live or you're watching this afterwards, please feel free to make your comments. I'll be happy to reply to all of you. Um, as some of you already know, if you didn't know, my other business or my other passion is dancing. I have a dance company, and I want to talk to you about what it does to people. But to begin with, I want to hear a little bit from Kara because she deals with the, how do you call it, meat soups, the
Meat suits.
meat soups.
So we are meat suits full of hormone soup, controlled by
Yes.
motion management and made of stardust. Yeah.
So I would like to hear
What?
from you. What is it that it does to our hormone soup being able to dance or do something new in life?
Oh, okay. So that's a loaded question. Okay. So anytime you do something new, it creates new pathways in your brain, and the more you do something new, the more it creates neurons firing in your brain, and the stronger your brain becomes. It adds to your brain's ability to adapt and change. So already winning. And moving your body, the act of exercising and straining your system creates proteins your brain needs to function.
Mm-hmm.
To
So
dance is amazing for you.
yeah, so it's great because that is also one of the ways that we release stress, which is the one thing that we all have and we will all like to get rid of. So dancing is one way of releasing it. Now I would love to hear from Irene as a manifestation coach. You know, when you are, and I'm gonna talk and get a little bit into my life in a second. There's a reason why I'm asking these questions because I want you to hear from professionals. Um, what is it when you're in front of a task that you believe you cannot get done? What should be your mindset? How should you prepare to manifest arriving to doing something that you thought you were not able to get done?
Well, everything starts from the intentions, right? Because if we set ourselves for the failure, we are gonna fail. So it all starts with how we are preparing ourselves. So intentions, it's something that we just send in these, signals to the universe where we are saying, okay, we are ready, we are there to try, and we are holding ourselves free from the outcome, but we know we are gonna achieve something. So that's exactly where the energy is coming from. And obviously when you're learning something new like dance, and it's like it requires the memory, you're using, you're training your muscles, you're training your brain because you're trying to memorize the steps. And besides that, it's also good to elevate your frequency when you are, like you mentioned, like you're stressed out. And also if you are falling into the lower vibration, with the dance, you're actually increasing the vibration. That's like my to go to plan. Like if something goes, not the way I want, I just put the music up and I'm just like dancing. And I'm just, releasing all these, stressful hormones, and I'm fine. So yes, dance is very helpful on, raising the vibrations, and also to train our brains develop the new neural paths.
Mm-hmm. And now my question will be for Bruno. Bruno, I know at one point or another we have spoken. You're not the type of a man that goes to clubs a lot, but when you
Mm-hmm.
do you dance?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
So, like, believe it or not, because obviously, like all of you, like you don't know that side of me, and obviously this happened at university. So when I was younger, right? when I was like 15, 16, I always wanted to go out, and my mom was like, "No, you're not old enough to go out. You need to stay home." No, no, no. And all my friends, they would go out. So I built this desire inside of me that when I got to uni just exploded. So I was basically a freak. I was dancing always. I was always boom, 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 going out, na 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 na. But that was like club dancing. However, though, when I got a part-time job when I was like 18, 18, just turned 18, in a clothes store. And what happened was that I found these Venezuelan guys, awesome
Mhm.
people, and they taught me how to dance salsa.
Okay.
Yes, and it was so interesting because like they taught me how to flow like water, and it's tough because when especially like when you're always very stressed and stuff, and you have to go like and you breathe, it's like you stop, it's like you get out of your body to have an out of body experience, so your body flows like rubber.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It's honestly like it's just, I don't know how to explain. You just feel free when doing it.
That
um
is true.
yeah, so like yeah, kind of. So yeah, I mean, when it comes to clubbing, yeah, I did have my experience, but I kind of stopped. But when it comes to like real like pure dancing about the salsa, I really liked learning how to do it because it was really, it was, yeah, it was kind of awesome to learn how to like flow and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yes. Learning how to dance is amazing, and mainly if you have a passion for it. And that brings me to my first topic. You know, uh, part of my story is that all of you, as you can tell, if you haven't noticed, let me give you a hint. I'm from Hispanic descent, so my parents are Latin. Although you would not believe it with this Greek, sex appeal. But the main thing here is that during my almost my whole life, I did not know how to dance. Nothing, nothing. I was so bad at dancing that I will ring a bell at a house and that thing will come, out of tune already. So, um, so for the longest, I thought I had two left feet. I went through marriage, and during marriage, it was like my ex-wife was Hispanic, and she knew how to. Well, at that point, I thought she knew how to dance, and I'm like, okay, oh my god, I gotta learn, and I never did during 12 years of marriage, never did. So when I finally got separated, I said, okay, you know what? Let me go ahead and give it a try. Let me try something new. Let me try something different. And that's how my story started with dancing. I wanted to prove to myself, remember what Irina said at the beginning? That's why I was opening with those questions. The intention. I set an intention out to the universe to say, okay, you can do this. If not, give it a try. What's the worst that could happen? You're not gonna get any worse than what you already are, right? So number one, it helped me boost confidence a lot. So if you as a man or a woman are looking to boost your confidence, try dancing. Doesn't matter if it's salsa, bachata, hip hop, twerking, pole dancing. It doesn't matter. Whatever you feel that your mind and body desires and craves, give it a try. Worst that could happen is you figure out you don't like it, go to the next thing. But it's gonna help you with boosting your confidence. Another thing that is gonna be is gonna help you to stay fit and healthy. We all need that. And God knows that I cannot be on the treadmill for more than 2 minutes. But you can put me to dance for 5 to 6 hours. Has that ever happened to any of you?
No.
Yes, yes, yes,
With
yes.
me,
I'm
no.
for dancing.
Yeah. When was the
Mhm.
last time you went out dancing till the time till your feet gave up?
Me, for my
Yeah,
Oh.
birth.
for your birthday.
Yes,
We
of
never
course.
saw pictures or videos.
Yeah, I have to. Yes, but I'm a big dancer. I used to do the modern dance back in Ukraine. I
Mm.
can I just share? I'm sorry, I kind of interrupted.
Yep,
So
sure.
my experience was I love the ballroom dance. I love the Latin ballroom dance. But over there, it was like, okay, bring the partner. If you have the partner, then you could have that, dancing. And obviously, I didn't have a boy. So I ended up doing the modern dance, which I enjoyed, but my passion, my love was always the Latin ballroom dance. So when I had my daughter, since she was 4, I already signed up her for the dance. And she was dancing all these years through the high school. And a lot of times she was like, Mom, it's not me, it's you who wanted to do that. But I enjoyed it to the fullest because it was like, living my dream through her. Because we
Yeah.
were going on the dance competitions and everything. And for the boys, it's like the best way, like when they are small, they don't want to dance because it's like a girly stuff. But the older they get, it's like, they go to the parties and they know how to dance, they know how to treat a woman. And they were also getting paid because if they go for the competition, a lot of girls don't have the partners. So they were getting paid. So it's a nice way of, making business. So yeah, I totally relate with the dance and yeah, something enjoyable.
I always say, if you have muscles, you're here. If you have brains, you're here. And if you know how to dance, you're way up here.
True, true. Yeah.
So, and that brings me to my next thing. We were talking about stress a minute ago, and that's why I was asking the question to Kara. We all deal with stress in different ways. Sometimes because of work, sometimes because of family, sometimes because of a situation, sometimes for a time crunch. And believe it or not, just today, I went to pick up my daughter. Usually, I don't pick up my daughter; let her come back in the bus. But I was on the way, and we needed to get so many things done in certain period of time. And I'm like, okay, I already stressed out. I know that I'm gonna go dance tonight, so I know I'm gonna get my fix today. But the second that I start dancing, my stress is gone. I'm a happy guy. Like Bruno was saying a minute ago, it doesn't happen to everyone, but to some people like Bruno and I, when I start dancing, I disconnect from this world. I'm
Yeah.
no longer in a human body. I'm actually enjoying my time. Yes. And it's completely different. Completely different. So that is part of the things that I love the most about dancing, that it brings you such a wealth of opportunities in your personal life. And now let's talk about what we were talking a minute ago. I'm gonna jump the sentimental connections for a minute. I'm gonna leave that last, but I'm gonna jump into business success. Why do you wanna learn how to dance? It doesn't matter what you dance. Learning how to dance is like learning a language. So when I say that, I would just want you to understand this: that one dance is not better than the other. Just like I always say, one language is not better than the other. The only great thing about it is that it opens doors for you to speak to other people and connect with other people and learn about them. Same thing with dance. Dance allows you to open those doors and connect with those other people, but not in a verbal way. 100% led by the body. So it's gonna enhance your communication skills. Two, is gonna help you to build networking skills. All of us, we're business owners. We all know how terrifying sometimes it is to walk into a networking room and being completely blank and not knowing what to talk to people. Well, sometimes dance is the equalizer, is what gets you to connect with the other person. Sometimes, not all the times. So it's one way to break the ice. And like Irina pointed, sometimes the way to break the ice with a girl. So, and the next thing, which is the one that I think it's great for all of us as business owners, and this one I'm going to ask a few questions, is unleashing creativity. I don't know, but every time I go dancing, I come home with 20,000 different ideas of what to do next. Has that ever happened to either of you, either with exercise, dancing, anything that doesn't have to do with your day-to-day work?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Kara, can you share a little bit of what has happened to you?
Oh yeah. So I used to belly dance. I had rehearsal 3 times a week, right? And there is nothing like
Amazing.
getting lost in movement. You'll experience the or a similar thing when you go for a walk or if you go for a run. Anytime you're washing dishes, but when you get to use your whole body in a dance, you're so caught up in what is happening here that your brain gets to relax, like gets a minute. Like sometimes it just needs a minute. And so it gets one. And you're creating all these great proteins. So you're feeding it while it's resting. So when you come back to it, it's like, oh yeah, we got this. Let's go.
Yeah, that is right. What about you, Bruno? You want to share something?
No, yeah, I was gonna say, so like that happens a lot, especially with me because like I'm raising my energy. So like, so for example, like you're raising energy from your core until your brain until the angel. So
Mm-hmm.
like, you become on this like, I wouldn't say gamma frequency, but I mean I think you're close. So you get into this God frequency where like you get all these ideas and you get all these like solutions and all that stuff, like almost like you're on drugs, right? Because even the solution for anything is energy, right? Like if you always add energy, you probably wouldn't even need to eat as much. Um, so like, which is true, right? Which is like as like all human beings, like right, like skinny, fat, doesn't matter, right? Like we would, that's just the way it is. By raising your energy, right, you get all these brilliant ideas and dancing, singing, exercising, just like you were saying, John. Yeah, that was it. It's just you're raising your energy in ways that um, other things can't, right? Because you're either wasting your energy or you're raising it up. So,
That is right. What about you, Irina? Have you had a situation where you went dancing or did some exercise and you got home or to your office all revitalized?
Absolutely. I mean, it's just, like one of these moments, and it's like funny enough, but you could call it meditative state, right? Like the shower that we download the ideas on the treadmill, when we are dancing, walking on the beach or in the park, whatever, like all these states, especially when we are doing it consciously, it's
Mm-hmm.
amazing. And I think it's just like the whole movement itself when we are dancing in the body. It's a great way to really connect ourselves with the source and receive all the ideas. So I completely agree with you. And
Yep.
yeah, creativity, it's all about creativity because even during the dance, we improvise a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like whatever comes to our mind with the movements and everything is just like happening in the moment.
And that is exactly the creativity part. When you say you improvise, is really a lot of muscle memory just kicking in and
Mhm.
letting you actually feel the dance. So I think that is the dessert when you're dancing for your brain, when you actually can let your brain be free and
Yeah.
you let your soul just take over the dance. And please do not get this wrong. And this I'm coming from. I'm from a dance instructor kind of thing. Don't let your soul take over so much to the point that you forget all your basics. Please, whenever you do that, although it feels great for you, doesn't look great outside. Please. So, I'm actually gonna go ahead and share a link on the comments for people to see it. This is Abundance Company. If you want to learn how to dance, we're actually putting tips and little tutorials for you to learn. So you can watch there. Also, you can go ahead and tag us there. And if you message us free dance class and you're in the West Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale area, we can actually set up a free class, a free demo class for you, or a consultation if you're looking to have a wedding event, we can go ahead and do that. But also you can see some of the events. We recently had a very successful event for Lauderdale. So you can see us watching Natalia and I. She's my dance partner. So that will be the best part for the business side, enhance communication, build networking skill, and unleash creativity. But the next one is the one that we were talking last week, sentimental connections. How dancing helps you. One, if you look at it from the romantic side, it helps you to forge deeper bonds. Why? Because you actually get to connect with the person you're dancing. I don't know if it has happened to you, because it has happened to me that I go dancing and the person that I'm going to dance with, her and I have nothing in common. We don't even have chemistry. But when we start dancing, something clicks and it's like, oh my God, it's awesome. I mean, and it's even more magnified whenever you actually click with that person. So you do get those bonds. That's why I strongly recommend business owners, whenever you're going to have an event or something to help your business connect, if you want your managers, your employees to get along a little better, take them outside of the office. Don't just pay for beers. Guess what's going to happen? They're going to talk. They're going to say how great their life or not, their life is not. And then they're going to go home and forget about it. You did not build experience. So as a business owner, if you're an HR consultant or an HR person and you're thinking about doing something with your business, contact us. We will create a retreat just for your business so you can actually do something great with them. So, Kara, go ahead.
Oh my God, sis, I love that you brought this up because legitimately, as a retreat for a business, there are so many layers of goodness that comes from a dance class. Okay, so my favorite is if you pair it with feedback training, right? So getting and receiving feedback is hard work. But I'll tell you what, if your dance instructor isn't saying things to you, that's because you're not standing out enough for them to care to help you improve. And you learn that in a dance class. So when they're picking on you, when they're nitpicking your moves and getting down your core, that's because they see the potential for you to successfully do the move. And when you learn that physically, it's one thing to do that in business and know that your boss is trying the best for you and logic that space out. But when you feel it happening in your body and they're getting on you, but suddenly that shoulder just starts rolling real smooth. You're like, oh, it's not like this. It's like this. Oh my God. And feedback becomes so much easier to take.
Yes. And not only that, I actually have an exercise where I blindfold the follows and I blindfold the leads. And we have what is we call mirroring, when we have our eyes completely open and you have the person. So if the person leans forward, you're mirroring, so you're going to go backwards. But now when you're blindfolded, you actually have to feel it. So it's not a reaction that is like, and it starts giving people the sense that they can start trusting somebody else. That's why if you start learning dance, you will learn that there's so many building blocks that will help you in general life, not just dancing and having the skills that I mentioned before, but actually helping your general life, how to become a better person, how to actually connect with other person at a deeper level, not just understanding, oh, here's where you're coming from. Here's the answer. Have a nice day. Next. So that is one of the parts. That's why I left this sentimental all the way to the end, because it has so much to teach us from the business perspective as well as the romantic perspective, that I think we can be here all night. Irina, Bruno, if you need to jump in, please jump in, because I know that I'm going to get passionate in a minute because the next two are coming up. The next one is expressing emotions. I'm pretty sure you or somebody that is watching right now at one point is either right now an employee or an employer, and you have had a situation where you are so angry at the world because somebody said something to you and you don't know how to express it, or you don't know how to healthy let it go, because sometimes being quiet is the best strategy. Guess what? Dancing will help you with that. Why? Because we have a thing called artistic expression. Yes. So when your emotions are completely tight, and you're ready to blow up, guess what? You put a song that expresses that emotion, you let that go, and then you put another one that puts you back on track to where you at. So it's another way of dealing with emotions. Irina, do you have any tool or anything? It doesn't have to be dance related, but any tool on how people can deal with emotions?
You know what? The tool that I always give is notice what you're noticing. So first of all, acknowledge, right? Those emotions. We always know when we are in the negative emotions because we act differently as opposed to when we are in a good mood. So the minute we realize it, just go back to the thought, like, what did I just think about that caused these emotions? And pause, reflect, take a few deep breaths in and out, and then reconnect with something good. Or better, start shaking your body.
Yes.
And you're gonna, like, change your focus right away, and you're gonna elevate your mood, and everything else is gonna be history.
Mm-hmm.
Try it next time.
How about you, Bruno? Do you have any tool or way of dissipating those negative emotions?
Yes. Um, so like I used to be a person like who was really, like I used to hold like a lot in, and like when I was about to like explode, like it was just like I was like a tank, like. And then it would be even worse because I'd explode on the people that really didn't deserve it. But usually explode on the people who know are going to stay. So it's almost like a guarantee that, it's a safe thing to do it with those people when they are the people who least deserve it. But in terms of the emotional side to like kind of control your emotions or let it go, I can dance. But see, the difference between me dancing and listening to a song is that when I listen to a song that um, identifies and reflects my mood, I want to continue listening to that same song or a song similar to that for like an hour. Because once I get to that state, I'm like, boom, I'm like, I see red, I see this, I see that. So, but dancing is different because if I can put a song that doesn't reflect my mood, but I can dance on that song, I become the song, means like I get the mood that that song will then give me, or contrary from the mood that I'm actually in that moment, right? The anger, the whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But even better than that, in my case, is writing. Like I'm a copywriter in my job, and I'm a writer on my free time.
That is your passion.
Like it truly is my passion. But the way I expel like that bad energy out of me is like with poetry.
Mm-hmm.
So I write poetry and I make my rhymes, and I make it flow like music because I love it. I love to make it flow and all that stuff. And yeah, like that's kind of how I do it. But even if I don't do poetry, I write literally how I feel. I write how I feel, where I feel it, how did it start, how can it finish.
Ooh, that's a
So like
great technique. I actually have used that technique in the past, and I
yeah,
love that technique. How I'm feeling, where I feel it.
yeah,
You just reminded me of a technique that I haven't used in years. I love that.
yeah.
Yes.
But it's a very awesome technique. Like it
Yes.
works almost anytime.
Mm-hmm. How
Yeah.
about you, Kara? What are your way to dealing with those emotions? How because we just heard from Irina that if you actually have the emotion, acknowledge it. And I agree with Irina 1,000%. The worst thing you can do is just put that to the side, because at one point or another it's gonna bite you. So, and the next thing, Bruno, you see, dancing is not the only way. You can write about it. You can let that go on different ways. It just depends upon your personality and what clicks to you. That's why I'm really interested on what Kara has to say.
So we'll do the science first. That the emotion management makes a decision and it sends the rules down to the heart, and heart pumps out all of the hormone soup, right? That whole process takes about 10 seconds. So you remember when you taught your kids to count to 10 before they reacted?
There.
Yeah, that's a thing. But I kind of love not just acknowledging, but how Bruno talked about conveying words with the music and the movement. One of my favorite, if I'm in, and y'all know what I mean when I say that mood, where you just,
That you cannot even stand the person in front
You're
of you.
there, like you're this close.
Mm-hmm.
This
So
close.
So there's a song from Easter Parade with that Ann Miller dances to. It's called "Shaking the Blues Away," and it'll flip flop me in a heartbeat. All of the words match the music, and the whole concept is, if you are blue, it's easy to shake it away.
Okay.
Just shake it away.
Have you ever heard a song called "Shake It Out" by Florence Plus the Machine?
I think so. I think I've
Like
heard
shake
it.
it out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Oh my god, that song is amazing. That song is
Oh yeah,
unbelievably awesome. Jesus Christ.
T Swift totally jacked that from Easter Parade. Sorry, T Swift friend. Check out Ann Miller.
Good. So now you have a few ways of expressing your emotions, how to deal with emotions, and then the next part, which I think it's is the gift of life, creating lasting memories. The best memories are not the ones that are kept in a cell phone that you take the picture or video that most of the time you never ever open again. Is the one that actually gets stuck up here. So with that said, I remember my good dances and my horrible dancers. Not dancers, dances. I remember I had taken at that point 3 classes. 3 classes, no more. And I asked this girl, I was shaken to my core. And I asked the girl and I told her, hey, do you mind dancing with me? Just one song because I really like this song, but I'm a beginner. And she's like, yeah, of course, sure, whatever. Her fault, not mine. I did advise. So we go dancing and we have a move called the cuddle, where actually you bring the lady inside your arm and then you go forward and back, forward and back. But usually after the first second forward and back, you let her go. Guess what? I was so nervous that I got her into the move and I was so happy and then I blanked out. Completely blank. So we kept going back and forward, back and forward. And the girl's looking at me like, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. She's like, are you ever going to let me go? And I'm like, eventually. She's like, what's wrong? I forgot how to let you go. She's like, just lift this arm. She got out. So that memory is never going to leave me. Never, ever, ever, ever. And so far and so on, I have so many good memories or memories that I can laugh about. I mean, now I can laugh. At that point, I was upset. I was like, how could you? I told you that I was a beginner. But now I can laugh about it. I'm like, wow. And then seeing other people going through the same thing, I'm like, okay, I know how to help you. It's something that I went through. I would like to ask each one of you, what's your best memory dancing? Who was it with? Where was it? And if you remember the song. Ready? Let's start with. Everyone's like. Yeah, Kara took it personal. She went into the thinking mode. So, how about you, Bruno? Remember, what was your most memorable dance?
My most memorable dance. Like any type of dance, like any type of place,
Anything.
anything. Oh god. Drunk or sober?
If you remember it, it happened. If you do not remember, it didn't happen.
Okay, cool. Well, it was actually with the Venezuelan people that I actually talked about.
Okay.
So we were having a party, and like we went to their house, and they were like, because it's tradition and we're at our house, we're all gonna dance. And everybody's like, oh, that's good. So like we all started dancing salsa and all that stuff. And like you, for example, you were talking about like like coaches or dance instructors, right? Like they help you and stuff. And actually the girlfriend of one of the Venezuelan guys, right? She was like, no, you have to do it like this. And she was like, okay, do it like this and like this. And she was literally grabbing me, and I was like, okay, interesting. Okay, what the fuck's happening here? Um, and it was funny because like it's so up close, and it got really close, and I felt this kind of intimacy, even with somebody that honestly I didn't knew that well. But apparently that doesn't matter because dance just annihilates all that stuff. Um, and you just at least have this intimate moment, like skin on skin, and like you obviously you touch the waist and you touch the shoulder, all that stuff, right? And it's not even about the sensuality that eventually just occurs. It's really how you let go of anything for kind of a higher purpose, which is kind of making the dance work.
Hmm. Who do
You
you
also
remember?
learn
Who
how to
was
let
it
go.
with?
Well, it was with well, I even like I danced with a guy and I danced with a girl.
Okay, and do you remember the song?
Um, the song. Well, it was a salsa song. I don't remember the
Salsa.
actual
Okay,
name.
okay. So let's go with Kara. Do you remember how long ago was your most memorable dance?
I am racking my brain. I have like six that came to mind. So I'm trying to figure out one that's
You don't
worth
have to.
sharing.
You don't have
Uh,
to share all just one. You can share more.
well, so the first time I danced with somebody else who knew how to dance. They knew how, and not just dance, but actually knew how to lead. I was like, oh, this is what it means to be flying as a human. This is cool. I like this. So I remember that very clearly. And And the first time I was in a really big group, we were at a disco in one of the fields while we were living in Mexico. And I think at one point, there had to have been 30, like the entire dance created a group circle. And they're just, hey, 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 hey.
Oh,
Oh,
No?
don't worry. She'll be back. She'll be back. She'll be back.
Yeah, sure.
Well, Irina.
she's still dancing.
Yes. How about you, Irina?
Well, for me, I also appreciate when the guys know how to dance. And I remember before I got married, I used to go to the club because the club boys knew how to dance. And I don't remember the name. I don't know anything about the guy, but we were like in tune, like you say, like body to body, and the movements were like so in, like in synchronicity. Like you enjoy the dance and you don't care about anything else, whoever is there and whatever. You're just like in the moment. So this is like one of the best memories. And also with my dad, because my dad
Oh,
knows how to lead. And each time when we go for any kind of occasions and we dance, I love to dance with him.
that's sweet. That I think is the most memorable one. I still till this day have the first dance that I had with my daughter at an event, which I do have the video, and that is my favorite moment of me dancing because I was the one who taught my daughter how to dance salsa and bachata. To me that is my favorite moment so far in my whole dancing
Mhm.
time.
Until she's gonna get married, then you're gonna have daughter and father dance at
We
the
will see.
wedding.
That's gonna take a long time, I hope.
You know what? It's funny because when when the couple gets married, they always looking for somebody for the first dance. So it's interesting because usually, obviously, the girl is more like, flexible with this kind of thing, and the guy is like the one who, like, ever like step on the dance floor. So I think it's also like a good skill to have.
Oh, I think dancing is such a great skill. Look how many things I mentioned: boosting confidence. There's nothing that you don't want out of it. The thing is that a lot of people have, they're afraid of feeling funny on the dance floor or looking funny, and that's what I think stops a lot of people. The feeling that I'm gonna get on the dance floor and I'm gonna make myself not look so good. So let's go back to Kara because she was on the dance circle going, ooh,
And
ooh.
she was dancing. Woo, woo,
And then gone. Yeah, the world doesn't want me to talk today. I don't know. Okay, so the end of that story is it was a huge crowd and everybody was cheering and nobody was afraid to get in the middle and dance really well or really bad. It didn't matter as long as you had a smile. And I was like, that's what dancing is. It's flying and smiling.
Yeah. At one point or another, as a dance instructor, I always say, if you got to the dance floor, and you left the dance floor with a smile, you're already there.
Mhm.
That is big part of me. I mean, don't get me wrong. I will always be looking for technique and everything. Mainly if you tell me that you're interested on really, really learning. But nevertheless, leaving with the dance floor with a smile, I think is the most important thing. So, Kara, you just missed just a little bit. Irina was touching the subject that she used to go to clubs to dance with other people that knew how to dance, and also her favorite memory was also dancing with her dad, which I think that's the sweetest thing because I do that with my daughter a lot. hmm So you see, there's so many positives, as I was saying just a minute ago, from dancing, from a business standpoint, from the sentimental standpoint, from your personal standpoint. You don't lose, you actually win by learning how to dance. It is a skill that is gonna help you. Like I said at the beginning, I was not lying. Dancing saved me from going to depression. So if it did that for me, if you're thinking that you're not feeling so good, you don't have the good friends that you're looking to have, give it a try. There's nothing to lose. So with that said, anybody would like to say something before we start closing?
Yeah, I
No.
just wanted to say that you are correct. It's like, like building up so many personality traits, like the confidence, the ability to, just be there and be out and about, right? The confidence to talk to the strangers, to be around other people, and obviously to feel more yourself, your body, right? To know exactly your body. So there are a lot of benefits.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Alrighty, so with that said, everyone, thank you very much for joining us today. If you have questions, comments, concerns, feel free to DM us. Either of us, me, Irina, Bruno, Kara, we're here to help you. So, till the next broadcast, see you all soon.